Let's go.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Halftime Adjustments Podcast. I'm your host, Derek Benavides, and it is a beautiful day to talk about the NFL Football League. It is March 19th, a Sunday night, and all three of us are here. I got my best friend, Luis Biraza, here with me live. Luis, say hey. Say hey to everybody.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How you doing?
And, of course, I got my best friend, Colton McHarley, on the line. He is out there virtually. Say, hey, Colton.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah.
That was kind of weak, Colton.
Yeah, well.
I want you to stand out, dude. Say something crazier. Like, go crazy on the mic, you know?
You want to say something extremely controversial in the mic that may get us canceled? Is that what you're looking for?
Do something wild, dude. Just go balls to the wall, man.
Would it help if no one will see it, but I'm recording naked. Would that help to know? Is that crazy enough for you?
That's pretty good. I like it.
Take a picture and put it on the website.
We're recording live, so and I'm recording in your house too. So live feed is going to Twitch from your computer screen.
Don't let this get out.
Well, I'm glad everybody's here for another episode of Halftime Adjustments. Today, we're going to be just rushing over the crazy transactions that are going on. There's a ton of transactions going around the NFL, the offense and defense, both sides, and we're going to brush over them and highlight some of the craziest ones that we've seen up to date. Last week we ended with Derek Carr signing with the Saints, and that was confirmed. And but yeah, there's just so many new people that are on this list right now that are moving around. So it's gonna be crazy to see all these people move around and seeing how they do on their new teams. So we will start with some of the players that got traded. Some of the biggest names on March 13th, Jimmy Garoppolo was signed to the Raiders. This is a big one, I think. This is a pretty good move for the Raiders. I think it's an upgrade. Jimmy Garoppolo has proven that he can be a number one quarterback. What do you think, Luis?
Jimmy Garoppolo definitely has weapons on that team. Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs, he has targets, and I think he'll do great with that team.
Yeah, I think he will too. I think it's a pretty baller move, don't you think, Colton? Or is this a mistake on the Raiders?
I don't think it's a bad move. I just think it's a bridge for them. Like, I think they're still in the running for a quarterback in this year's draft. I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo has proven, like, in his career ever, that he can lead a team to a championship. Even the star-studded San Francisco 49ers team, he couldn't take to the Super Bowl, or I guess win it, I should say. So,
but he's been there twice. Well, he hasn't been to Super Bowl twice, but he's been to the NFC Championship twice. So you got to give him that.
He made it to the Super Bowl once. He made it against the Patrick Mahomes in, I think it was 2020, maybe 2019. And they lost. So, but that was his best years. I think those are behind him. So, I think it's a good move for them. It's a good bridge. He's a serviceable guy. I don't think he's going to win you a ton of games, but I don't think he's going to lose you a ton of games either. He's smart. He's risk averse, and hopefully will, be a good bridge while their young quarterback develops, who they could potentially draft this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, on that same note, on that same team, the replacement for Jimmy G is going to be Sam Darnold, who moved over there from the Panthers. So that's going to be pretty interesting. He's probably just going to be a backup of a backup, to be honest. But yeah, he's going to be over there now. Another quarterback that got signed and moved was Mike White to the Dolphins. He'll be Tua's backup. Which is not a bad move, I don't think. I think the Dolphins needed a solid backup just because of the fact that Tua gets injured pretty recently not recently, but what's the word I'm looking for? steadily, I guess, consistently.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a pretty good backup, I think, for Tua, Mike White over there.
What do you think about Baker Mayfield going to the Bucks? He just signed just a 1-year deal, didn't he?
Wait, who?
Baker Mayfield.
Oh, Baker Mayfield, yeah, to the Bucks. I mean, this is like another bridge thing, I think, too, for him, because Tom Brady's not there anymore. So I mean, they need somebody to throw the ball.
Yeah, I think for sure for the Bucks is a bridge thing. I think with Jimmy G, it's a good set. He could be there for a few more years, but I think with Baker Mayfield, it is definitely a bridge. They need a quarterback there, and he was available, so they got him. But they're definitely gonna be looking out, maybe next year, in the next 2 years for a starting quarterback.
Yeah. Another guy that got traded was another quarterback that got traded on March 13th was Case Keenum to the Texans. This is probably just another backup because they're probably going to sign somebody else. But are there any other moves on this day that you guys thought that were noteworthy on March 13th?
Taylor Heineke to the Falcons.
Yeah,
but also Desmond Ridder went there too, so they're gonna be fighting for sure for a starting spot.
Yeah, that'd be
not
interesting.
really. Yeah, I mean,
I think Taylor Heineke is gonna be the number one guy out there.
I think he will too, but I don't think it'll be too easy for him. I mean, he should start. He should be the starter. But I mean, we do have some other quarterback, deals. Adding Dalton to the Panthers. Jameis Winston stays with the
Saints.
With the Saints. So yeah, I mean, for now he's gonna be a backup because Carr's there.
Yep.
But I mean, that's a good backup.
Yeah, it's a solid backup, I think. All right, let's move on to the next day because there's like I said, there's so many people that we need to touch on, and we'll probably come back to some that we missed here in a little after we're done with all of them. The Commanders released J.D. McKissick. That's a pretty big one. So, does this say anything for Antonio Gibson going forward?
I say more touches.
What do you think, Colt?
I actually love Antonio Gibson as a player. His team, for some reason, hates him. I don't think that it necessarily means that he's going to receive more volume. I think it just means that Brian Robinson, they're very happy with what they got out of him in year one, and moving into the future, that you could potentially see, like Luis said, I think Antonio Gibson came actually as a wide receiver, and he was turned into a running back, so he has great hands. So for him to take over that pass-catching role makes a lot of sense, and to make Brian Robinson sort of your three-down back while you spell in Gibson. So that's the way I see them utilizing him, because, I mean, they had him on punt returns. Like, he has shown that he's so good, but the team has still decided, like, no, we're not going to use you. You're on punt return duty. So I just don't know how much utilization he's going to get. The coach, Ron Rivera, has shown he just doesn't like the guy. Like, he doesn't like his play style or attitude, whatever it may be. Like, they underutilize him. I think Luis had it spot on, in my opinion. He fills that pass catch back role that McKissick is now, basically leaving behind.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, I think Antonio Gibson definitely needs to, because I don't understand why they hate him. I don't get why they hate him so much, because he was really good. I mean, like,
he's a good back.
He's a good back. He's a steady back.
He's
solid.
yeah. That's a better way to put it. He's a steady. He's a solid back.
So I don't know, man. Like, it's just it's confusing to see like why he's so underutilized over there. Yeah, like you said, like Colton, the coaching staff probably just hates him. So,
I don't know what it is,
like
but the good news is, I believe let me look at his deal. I believe he only has one more left on his contract. Let me check here. Where's this contract? There it is. I think this is his final year. Yeah, so this is the last year of his deal, and then he becomes an unrestricted free agent because he was not a first-round pick. So he only has to put up with this for one more year. Then he's 25 years old. So if there is a team out there who's looking for what seems to be a very serviceable running back, he's a guy who would probably cost you $3 million a year, and you could get him on a cheap contract. So yeah, I mean, the future is bright for him. He's just got to put up a little more year of basically being shoved under the rug. Sucks for him.
I guarantee you, if he moves anywhere else, he'll be solid there. He'll be a good
Agreed.
back somewhere else.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I don't think the Commanders are willing to pick up his contract and sign him for a multi-year deal now, at least.
Yeah, especially if Robinson has a good year.
Mm-hmm. Another big signing was David Montgomery to the Lions. Did y'all see that?
Oh yeah,
dude, they got rid of Jamal Williams.
I think he's a younger version of Jamal Williams.
You think so? I mean, he did really good with Swift being injured. If anything, I really thought they'd get rid of Swift. To be honest, I thought they'd get rid of Swift.
Well, they haven't signed Swift. Swift is younger, and he's still on his rookie deal, right, Colton?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, Swift is still on his rookie deal. So it just kind of tells me something about Swift because it's one of those situations where David Montgomery was almost a 3-down back. And he has a very similar style of play that Jamal Williams had. So it kind of tells me that he's probably going to be the goal line back a little bit. And I think Swift's going to be the Aaron Jones of that team.
I don't know, dude. I think it might be the opposite. I think Swift might be the red zone running back.
I don't think they like Swift at all. I think they're going to phase out Swift entirely. And David Montgomery's our guy moving forward, which I don't get, by the way. I always want to come out by saying I think this is a drastically overpaid deal. I don't understand why they gave him this contract. We are talking about a running back who has had a consistent injury history, number one. Last year only had 801 yards and 5 touchdowns on 200 attempts. I mean, It's not like this guy's lighting up the field. I get that, he was one of the only running backs available that was, touted as well. And he's 25. I guess, the age plays a factor into it. But nothing in his career screams, let's commit a ton of years and money to this guy. But yet they did it. I think they have Swift 2.0, but I also think they're trying to get away from Swift. Very similar to Gibson.
Yeah, I kind of see your point where they kind of feel the same about what the Commanders feel like for Antonio Gibson. I feel like, like you said, it doesn't make sense really because I think Swift is a really good back, but he has been plagued with injuries and stuff like that. But I don't know, dude. He's solid. Whenever he's fully healthy, he is a really solid back.
He is solid. He's a really solid back.
Yep. So, I mean, I don't know. Did y'all see that report that came out over the offseason that the team came out and said that Swift is not part of their long-term, thoughts? They're not considering him as their long-term option. So I would not be surprised if they decided to, let him go, not pick up any options, and just say, all right, goodbye, Swift. We gave you a shot. You're too injury-prone. David Montgomery, and let's draft another running back. Because Montgomery, it's not a terrible deal. But it's pretty backloaded. So this year he's set to make $1.25 million. The next year it's $5.5 million, and the year after that it's $5.5 million. And then he's a unrestricted free agent the year after that. So he has a pretty good amount of money coming his way. But I don't know. I think they have to sort of hedge this backfield because right now, both of those guys have a long history of injuries. So I can see this going horribly and both those guys being out.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. I mean, they have a really bright future ahead of them. I feel like they're the Lions have a really good offense this upcoming year. And so they have all the pieces together to be really competitive in their division. So yeah, and I think especially signing David Montgomery, that's kind of almost them kind of going in this year, them kind of going all in this year. So I don't know. We'll see.
If anything, they'd probably be 50-50 split back. That's it. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, did y'all see the news that came out about 40 minutes ago that they also signed the safety from the Eagles, C.J. Gardner-Johnson?
Yes, I just saw
I
that.
did
Yeah,
see that. Yeah, I did see that.
yeah, I just saw that.
He had the most interceptions of any safety last year. So you talk about their offense getting like explosive and good and like really this great core coming around, like, but they're also deciding to build on the defensive side of the ball, which is awesome. So this team is a lot of fun to watch. They have some great pieces coming together and great draft capital.
They just drafted last year Eddie Hutchinson. You know, he turned out to be pretty solid. You know, they got the secondary building up, so it should be a good team in general.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, should be a really good team.
All right, moving on to another running back. Samaje Perine got signed to the Broncos for a 2-year deal. That's kind of like a filler one, I guess, because they're waiting for what's that guy's name? I'm forgetting his name.
Javonte Williams.
Javonte Williams, that's right. To get healthy. So yeah, they'll probably just keep him on the back burner, kind of like they did with Joe Mixon.
Yeah, he's a serviceable back when you need him to be. I don't think that he's like the first option for anybody, but he's still 27. He had a few games last year whenever he was called to be the starter, which was weeks 11 through 13 last year. He finished with 28, 16, and 17 fantasy points. So, like, I'm pretty happy with those results if that's my starter. So, you know, he's proven he can get you viable numbers through the season while Javonte Williams tries to come back.
Right. Another couple of running backs that got signed. It's for the Eagles, and the Boston Scott is coming back to the Eagles for a 1-year deal. I think the biggest one, though, is Rashad Penny going over there because people forget how dominant he was before he got injured on the Seahawks, and he was turning loose on that team. And I think being behind a really good Philadelphia offensive line, I think he'll be really good over there.
Dude, I really think that the Eagles are going to draft Bijan Robinson, and because to me, Penny is not a long-term running back.
I don't think he's a long-term running back either, but I also don't think they would do it.
I have a strong feeling that they're going to pick him up. Obviously, I believe they're going to make trades back and forth with probably like Scott and Penny, probably like next year. But I have a high feeling that they're going to pick up Bijan.
Okay, Luis, I have a question for you. Do you think they're going to take him with their high pick or their low pick?
Their high pick is 11, right?
10.
11.
10.
There's 10, and then the low pick is 31, right?
30.
It's not 31.
No, they're 30 because the Miami Dolphins forfeited their pick due to collusion.
Okay. Well, I will say 10 because I think he'll be gone by the 30th pick.
Yeah, I think he'll be gone by then.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I think he's gone by then.
And the only reason why I said they're going to pick him up just because, like I said, dude, they only decided Rashawn Penny for 1 year, right? It was only for a year.
I don't know. Off the top of my head right now. Yeah, what was the Rashad Penny deal for?
Let me look.
Do you remember?
I can check real fast.
But
1 year,
pretty much
$1.5 million.
Yeah. So 1 year, and to me, like I said, it's not long term. It's just somebody that they wanted. I'm really surprised they got rid of Miles Sanders. He was really good with them, but they have their own reasons to let him go. But I think that if they want a long term running back, they're gonna get him.
Okay, can I bring a counter argument to this? Are you okay with that?
Of course.
So
actually, no. Don't say anything.
Here's where I disagree with you. I don't think they're going to be that dumb. I hope they're that dumb, but I don't think they're going to be. They have Darius Slay, James Bradbury, who are both two old corners. They just lost their safety in C.J. Gardner, who we just talked about. Not only that, they have an aging offensive line. Jason Kelce's 35. He is going to retire very soon. Who's the other guy? Lane Johnson, their right tackle, is very old. I think he's like 33, which in NFL years is old. He's going to retire relatively soon. So I think there are more important positions. If you have a top 10 pick, you have Peter Skoronski available. You have Witherspoon, the cornerback available. I think there are players who are higher caliber who can have longer careers and will be more impactful for their team than a running back will be. As we've seen, you can get guys like Kamara in the second round. You can get Isaiah Pacheco in the seventh round. You can get serviceable running backs in any round you want. I think that they would target somebody like a Jahmyr Gibbs at the bottom of the first round versus spending a top 10 pick and missing out on a guy like Peter Skoronski, a tackle who can anchor your right-hand side for many years to come. That's my take on it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I think that they would be more they would be more beneficial getting one of their secondary guys because they got rid of some of their guys and some of their guys are aging. And then Amir Gibbs is still available, and he could be available in the second round too for anything.
Yeah, or Zach Cunningham. There are so many serviceable running backs in the bottom of the first round, top of the second round that they could play with there to either trade back from that pick 30 or stay in and select a guy that they really like.
So right now, projecting in Tankathon app, thanks to Colt Shadow, he showed me this app. The Eagles right now will get the cornerback Christian Gonzalez from Oregon.
Okay.
Who's projected to get Bijan? Cardinals.
Hold on.
Bucks.
Oh, hold on. I'm scrolling down, dude.
Bears. I'm just throwing out names.
Hold on. Let me check again because I don't even see him on the first round.
He's probably high.
No, dude.
Okay. Well,
he's not in the first round.
I'd be surprised if he fell in the second round.
Oh, this is a perfect team to get to pick him up. The Bucks.
I called
it. The one. Yeah, that's the one Colt said.
The Bucks.
Yeah, that's the one Colton said. The Bucks.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean they got rid of Leonard Fournette, so Bucks need somebody now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And they're in those teens too. I think they're pick 17, so they're in that realm where like, okay, the top guys are gone. So do we decide to grab a secondary talent, or do we get the best available player? And that's when you start to look at Bijan as the best available player. So he's in that range to where I would not be surprised if they take Bijan Robinson and just say, all right, we're going to have to lean on a run game because we have Kyle Trask, quarterback right now, with Baker Mayfield. So, yeah, I don't know that you like that. You're going to have to lean on your run game.
Could you see the Bears picking him up, though?
At 9?
At 9, now that they switched?
I say 0.
And they got rid of David Montgomery. I mean, it's available.
To me, I say no. It's unlikely, highly unlikely. They could if they really wanted to, but to me, it's really unlikely that they would do that.
I agree with Luis. I think it doesn't make any sense when you look at the fact that you're going to have what appears to be at least 4 quarterbacks taken in the first round. They will still have a chance at elite talent being left on the board. A name that's being floated a lot is Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter is the defensive tackle from Georgia. He is, without a doubt, from what people are saying, the most talented player in this draft. But because of that off-the-field stuff of him being involved in the potential that car accident that led to people dying for street racing, his draft stock is kind of falling a little bit. But the Bears have been heavily linked with him. Even when they had the first overall pick, they were heavily linked with him. So if he starts to fall and the Bears see Jalen Carter at 9, they're not going to – there's still so many players in the top 10 who I think are going to be over Bijan that can make, number 1, impact, and number 2, longevity on a team. So I think they'd be really stupid to. I agree with Luis. And the talent that's going to be there, I think they're going to look at it and say, okay, wow, we got a guy like Jalen Carter potentially still available. Let's go ahead and move that direction instead.
Yeah.
And because of the trade that they made with the Panthers, they have a lot more first-round picks for next year.
That's true. Yeah, they gained an extra first.
Yeah, so now they have 2 for next year, and then they can do bad again. So they have another top 5, top 10 running back prospects that they can pick up. So yeah, I think it'll be very unlikely that they pick him. But if they do, then I mean, shoot.
Well, you know what that means if they don't. Khalil Herbert to the moon, baby.
Oh, let's go. Khalil Herbert time, baby.
Gosh. All right, I know some other running backs that were signed. Jeff Wilson and Raheem Mostert were re-signed for a 2-year deal. Jacoby Myers signed with the Raiders for a 3-year, $330 million contract. Luis, this is a big one for your team. Darren Waller got traded to the Giants for a 3rd-round pick. What a great deal,
Dude,
honestly.
that's a steal. So, people who don't know, the 3rd-round pick that we got from the Chiefs for Tooney, that's what it was. So, we essentially didn't really lose a pick. We just used the one that we got from Tooney. So, essentially, it was Tooney for Waller. Is that not a steal, or is that a steal?
I mean, I think it's a good deal. So my only fear that I have with this is we haven't seen good like running or wide receivers, wideouts, and like people that are receivers from the New York Giants.
So we re-signed Slayton.
Slayton.
And he's been kind of like our guy. We also still have Sterling Shepard on team. He's been our guy until he got hurt. Isaiah Hodgins pretty much was the guy this year, and we also signed a good pick, which I like, Paris Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like that pickup. So I really hope that this combination of receivers will help DJ out a lot, and I think it will.
I don't disagree with that. I think Darren Waller's he's going to be the guy that receives the most targets, I believe. I hope, at least, because he's the one that can turn the most targets into solid receiving yards.
It does suck that he got hurt last year, but even you guys know when he was healthy, he was top 5. Even right now, I think he was top 6 with the injury.
But we all know how they worked with Evan Ingram. And Evan Ingram was really good at the end of last year. So this could be another situation where it could be like Evan Ingram, and they kind of just waste his talent. And I really hope that's not the case.
Yeah, me too, man. I need these receivers to pan out.
See,
big time.
I completely agree with that. I'm gonna rain on your parade a little bit, Luis. I think y'all got a heck of a deal. Like, I actually think this is a great signing by y'all's team, but it worries the heck out of me. So, out of Darren Waller's career, he has only had 2 healthy seasons, and he was drafted in 2015. So, every single year since 2015 he played 6 games, 2016 he played 12 games, 2018 he played 4 games, 2019 and 20, he played full 16 season games. And then 2021, he played 11 games. 2022, he played 9 games. So, like, when he misses time, he misses a lot of time. We're not talking like 1 or 2 games.
That's the thing that hurts. And
not only that, he's 30 now. So, like, you're trading for a guy who's not young anymore. He is 30 already, and we've seen an elite player like Kelsey make it. He's 33, 34 years old now, and he's still killing it. But, you know, Waller's body has already been very injury prone, and, you know, now he's creeping into that age where injuries start to stack up. So the good news is there's such little draft capital spent on it that even if it doesn't work out, it's not a bad deal. Like,
yeah, it's not a bad loss.
Your team has positioned himself in such a great spot here. The upside is huge. The risk is very low. So I love the deal for your team still, although I am concerned about his production.
I honestly really do love the Paris Campbell deal. I saw that and I was like, you know what? I like that deal a lot, dude. It was a good deal.
That's one of those understated deals that could end up working out really big.
But yeah, dude, hopefully the receiving core over there at the Giants, you know, just blows up because we need that. Big time.
Yeah, y'all do.
Speaking of receiving core, the Jets also signed Alan Lazard for a 4-year deal.
Dude, that means that Rodgers is going to the Jets.
Well, it's so weird
that
because
means
there
he's
hasn't,
going to the Jets.
It hasn't happened yet, though. We haven't seen that confirmation that it happened.
Look, just like the Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley situation, you know, they want to wait till the last minute. They want to wait, you know, 2-3 extra weeks to finalize the deal, just to, you know, keep people on their toes. But it's gonna happen.
There has been
Rodgers
reports.
is gonna go to the Jets.
There has been reports saying that it's not even close. Like, they're not even close to making the deal happen yet because they haven't. The Packers are wanting so much for Aaron Rodgers, and like they want so much, and I don't know why because he's not worth that much, honestly. I don't know, dude. Like, I'm starting to get worried about him actually going over there.
Why worry though?
I'm not worried at all here. Because Aaron Rodgers does hold the cards. He has come out. I don't know if did you listen to his podcast on the Pat McAfee show?
Nah.
So he came out and said, I want to play for the Jets. And if we know anything about Aaron Rodgers, it's that he'll force his way out. And I think that means he'll retire before he plays for the Green Bay Packers again. He's made it clear that he wants out. Now, they're holding the cards, and they're saying that the Green Bay Packers, they're saying that they want the Jets pick this year, and they want a 2025 pick if Aaron Rodgers plays in 2024. Now, they're also saying that they're willing to hold this deal up until April 27th, the day before the draft. That is their deadline, and when they will, okay, this is how long we're willing to wait. It's in y'all's court. But I think you have the internal timer of Aaron Rodgers, and eventually he'll just say, screw it, I'm going to retire. Like, I'm out. You guys lost all your leverage because you waited too long. Now you have to give me up for nothing because I refuse to play for your organization. So, I don't know. I think they could potentially – this could blow up in their face if they don't make a move fast.
I do agree with that because, yeah, you're right. Aaron Rodgers has, you know, their balls on his court pretty much. Just like you say, he can retire, and the Jets can, you know, talk to him. He can unretire. The Jets get a great quarterback, and Green Bay gets nothing out of that. Nothing.
Exactly.
So, yeah, if I was the Jets,
That's true.
If I was the Packers, I'll get what I can get.
I think he's playing nice right now. And as long as he's playing nice, you continue to negotiate. But there is going to be a time where Aaron Rodgers, and let's be honest, the Green Bay Packers want to move on too. They've already basically said that Jordan Love's their starter.
Yep.
Like this has been too unwound now to pull back. You can't. So there's going to be a time where Rodgers is going to say, all right, quit effing around. Get me over there. I'm done with this. I'll retire. I'm not playing. I'm 40 years old. I don't have to do this. I'll go host Jeopardy. Or something else, you know, like I can do whatever I want. Like,
I would love to see that. That'd be great.
Yeah, so I mean, like he doesn't have to do this. He can move on whenever he wants. He can become an analyst and go make $400 million like Brady's about to do. So, like,
this
I don't know.
is Jeopardy.
As long as he's playing nice, try to get what you can. But there will be a moment where he says, "All right, stop it. Get me over there now."
Yeah. Well, we'll see how that shakes it down. That'd be interesting. But yeah, so far it hasn't happened yet. This is the deal that we sniffed out like early in the so many deals have gone through and his hasn't gone through yet.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason why it worries me.
For sure. Makes sense.
All right, moving on. Patriots signed James Robinson to a 2-year contract. This just further crowds that backfield that they have over there in the Patriots.
And they signed Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yep, they also signed Juju Smith-Schuster. I'm surprised they didn't sign DeAndre Hopkins because they love DeAndre, or Bill Belichick loves DeAndre.
I saw this rumor thing that the Cowboys were going to sign D-Hop.
I doubt it. They just signed.
Well, we didn't want to pay the pick.
Huh?
We didn't want to pay the pick. We were basically refusing to pay a second-round pick for him. And it makes sense. And Bill Belichick, they don't pay high picks for players either. And so they just work with that in the middle ground. They also signed Mike Gesicki, the tight end for Miami.
They did.
Yep.
And so they're making moves in that middle ground without paying the high price. And
they're making their moves for the year for 1-2 years. And then in between that, they're getting the drafts ready to get the draft picks up.
Yep, exactly.
And the Cowboys also signed Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, but Brandon Cooks is not that good, dude.
Are you kidding me? He was pretty good. He was good, dude. He was good on the Texans whenever he was playing. I think it's a great deal.
Colin, I think it's a phenomenal deal. I think it's a great deal for the Cowboys because of what we paid. We paid a 5th and a 6th round pick.
That's nothing.
So not only that, we got the Texans to agree to pay $6 million of his salary. So we have Brandon Cooks for $12 million this year, and we have the option to cut him with no penalty after the season is over. So next year he's supposed to get paid $18 million. We don't have to pay that. We have a full cut. We can make a clean break here. We got Brandon Cooks for a 5th and a 6th, and you now have somebody who, at the bare minimum, gives CeeDee Lamb some breathing room. You can't double cover. He's good enough to where you have to respect him, and you can't triple cover, double cover CeeDee Lamb every single play now. So I love this deal. Same with the Stephon Gilmore deal. Getting Stephon Gilmore for a 5th round pick. The Dallas Cowboys made that deal too. They're taking high upside, low risk players by using their compensatory picks from the previous year on guys like this. Same thing with the Darren Waller deal. It's very similar to that. There's basically no downside here because you spent nothing on a guy.
Yeah, solid pick. I mean, it just makes a lot more cap space room for the Cowboys. The biggest thing that makes room is releasing Zeke, though. Thank goodness we released Zeke, dude. Man.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
Thank you so much for all your years of hard work, Zeke, but we don't need you anymore. Sorry, buddy.
So, correct me if I'm wrong. He had like the most rushing yards as a rookie, right? His rookie year? Out of any rookie.
I don't remember, actually.
But I know he started out phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. He was great to start. Thank you.
Downfall every year. Every year. Next year, it was downfall. It was a downfall. He never went up. He did worse every year after his rookie year.
You were close, Luis. He had the 3rd highest rushing of anybody. He's behind George Rogers and Eric Dickerson. So he's the 3rd highest rookie rushing yards of anybody in the NFL.
Yeah, but after his rookie year, after that first year, it's going to start going downhill from there.
No. It was like year 4 because he won the rushing title his sophomore year too, and then his junior year, so his 3rd year in the NFL, he got suspended because of that stupid domestic violence case that was completely proven innocent. But he pulled that girl's top down at the St. Patrick's Day parade. So they suspended him for 4 games or something. And then after that, you had the Cabo incident, and then he held out, and then he got paid, and then he fell off a cliff. So we had 3 amazing years of Zeke, and then after that, it was like, okay, Zeke, where'd you go?
Yeah. Well, Tony Pollard to the moon, baby. So, I think we need I think we need to bring in another running back, honestly, because I don't think Tony Pollard could do it all on his own. I think he'll get gassed.
Well, he's also coming off an injury. He broke his foot
true,
last year.
Oh, yeah.
That's very true.
Or his ankle. He had to have surgery this offseason. So, you
Bijan
can't bank on this guy staying healthy.
Bijan
I don't know about Bijan, but I don't know about Bijan. I think Jerry Jones wants Bijan really bad because he likes having big, flashy running backs. But I think the organization is for sure going to draft a running back this year, and I think they're going to spend at least a 2nd round pick on that running back. I don't know who it's going to be, but they will do that. I think in my head, that's the best move that they could do because they filled a lot of their holes, like cornerback and wide receiver, with these veterans that you can use the extra space on a running back, and it doesn't matter.
Well, if they want Bijan, they're going to have to trade up for sure because I really think the Bucs are going to take him.
I completely agree. Yeah.
So I say the Eagles might take him, but I guess more realistically, the Bucs are going to take him.
Yeah, I agree.
That's completely possible. All right, moving on. Hayden Hurst got signed to the Panthers for a 3-year contract. This is a pretty good move for the Panthers. I think they're starting to get their players. I think they're trying to fill for the empty void that they lost with DJ Moore. They also signed Miles Sanders, which is a pretty big move on their end. Like it just shows, like, because I was saying all year that I think the Panthers were going to get Bijan Robinson early, but now I'm completely wrong because they traded up and now they signed Miles Sanders. So now I think Miles Sanders, he's going to be their running back one for a couple years.
For sure he is.
Another big name that got moved was Jamal Williams. He got signed to the Saints for a 3-year deal. Is Mark Ingram playing over there with the Saints still?
I don't think so.
No, he was cut.
No. Okay. So this is probably Jamal Williams' year over there because Kamara is probably going to get suspended.
Yep, I agree. I don't know how long, but I think so.
Yeah. I think Jamal Williams this is a solid move for Jamal Williams. I think he'll excel over there for a couple of years. I think it'll be kind of like he'll play that Mark Ingram role that Kamara and Ingram had.
See, I think more than anything, this is a massive. Like, I think he's a really good. He got 16 touchdowns last year. He's clearly a very capable running back. But I think more than anything, what this is, it's a morale boost for this team that has been down in the dumps for years now. I don't think there is a more positive vibe personality guy in the entire NFL than Jamal Williams.
Yeah, no kidding.
So I think if you want a guy who's going to bring up the locker room and bring the positivity and the, we are that team, who dat, we the Saints, all that back, I think he's that guy, bro. Like, he can rejuvenate that locker room and get them pumped through those hard games because there's going to be a lot of hard games in there. So right. I love the move by them. If he is terrible on the field, for his attitude alone, he's worth having in the locker room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's like, his attitude is so great. I love Jamal Williams, dude. He's so great.
He is. He's amazing.
Freaking hilarious. All right, moving on to next couple of names on the list. Running back Deontay Foreman got signed with the Bears for 1 year. Drew Lock is staying with the Seahawks. They're probably going to draft a quarterback, though, I believe. I think it's going to happen now. Let me look down the list. Any names that stand out to you?
Michael Thomas is staying with the Saints.
Yeah, they restructured his deal.
I have this good outline of all the quarterbacks. I mean, I know we named most of them, but I have this good outline right here. So, Jimmy, we got through him. Carr, Andy Dalton, Sam Darnold going to the 49ers.
Yeah, we said that one.
We said Baker already. Jacoby Brissett going to the Commanders.
Yeah, that one's interesting because they don't have Wentz anymore. So yep. Jacoby Brisket is going to be the the number one quarterback over there, isn't he?
He is. Marcus Mariota to the Eagles.
Yep.
Gardner
Minshew.
Yeah, to the Colts. We said talked about Mike White already. Case Keenum already. Kyle Allen to the Bills. Who is he?
He was the backup for Josh Allen, wasn't he?
No,
that was Case Keenum.
He was in Houston.
Oh yeah, that guy.
I don't know, dude. I don't know who he is. PJ Walker to the Bears.
Oh yeah.
I got a few names I'd like to throw in there.
Okay, who? Go for it.
Tremaine Edmonds, linebacker, went from Buffalo to Chicago. They signed him at $72 million. Massive deal. Orlando Brown, left tackle, went from Kansas City to Cincinnati, and he was a Pro Bowl left tackle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a big one.
It's a massive deal. $64 million is what they signed him for, and he's only 26 still. So, like, guy's still young. These are young players who are making moves. And safety Jesse Bates went from Cincinnati to Atlanta. And the other one that worries me a little bit is Von Bell, strong safety, went from Cincinnati to Carolina. So they lost their safety and strong safety in this past year, both Pro Bowlers. That's concerning for that defensive side of the Cincinnati ball. Another interesting, I'll just drop this last thing here. Last year, the Chicago Bears got rid of Roquan Smith, and he signed a deal. It was like, I think that he signed for like $20 million a season, and they only got a second-round pick for him. And he went to the Ravens. And they didn't want to pay him that, but then they turn around and pay Tremaine Edmonds, who's the same age, who's also a linebacker, but he's going to receive like $24 million a year. So you gain a second-round pick, but you're paying more money for the same position. They're both equally elite. It's just an interesting move by them. Ended up working out, but, at first they don't want to pay a linebacker. Then they decide they're going to. It's just going to be a different guy. Maybe they didn't like Roquan Smith. So,
right.
a lot of big names that have been moving here on the trench and the positions that don't matter in fantasy, but still really, really big names.
Here's another one, Matt Gay to the Colts, and they paid him.
Oh, he's like the highest paid kicker now.
They paid him, dude. Hold on, let me do the math here. $5.6 million a year.
Whoa. He's like the highest paid kicker right now. Right? That makes him the highest paid, right?
Yeah, $22.5 million for 4 years. So that's $5.6 million a year. Yeah, dude, that's like what? That's some running backs pay.
That is.
No, yeah, he got paid, but he's good, dude. He's one of the best kickers in the NFL.
He is.
He's made 60 out of his 64 kicks and 79 out of 81 extra points.
Wow.
So
good for the kickers. Getting love. Getting money.
Getting some money. Love. Gay.
Literally. That's his last name.
Chase Edmonds got signed to the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
You'll see that for a 1-year deal. It's probably nothing though.
Yeah.
Jason Kelsey stays with the Eagles. The Cowboys kid
Connor
Van
McGovern.
Der Esch.
Yeah, Van Der Esch is still with the Cowboys. Thank goodness.
Connor McGovern left us for Buffalo. Left the Cowboys. So we need a new guard. He was our starting left guard. So we have to find a new starting left guard for the Cowboys.
Dang, that hurts.
Jacoby Myers goes to Vegas.
Yeah, Jacoby Myers to Vegas. Offset Devontae Adams over there.
That's another weapon that Jimmy G can use for sure.
Cooper Rush is staying with the Cowboys.
Oh, yeah,
Let's go.
Right.
Super Bowl. Oh, here's a fun one because he's a hometown kid. Jarrett Stidham. Are you familiar with Stidham?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's from Stephenville. Jarrett Stidham. He's a quarterback. He played for Las Vegas. He played whenever they decided to move on from Carr last year. He decided to go to Denver. He received a 2-year contract, $5 million a year, $10 million total, to go to Denver.
Denver.
He's the number one over there.
He's local from Stephenville, so good for him.
All right, let me ask you guys this. Out of all of these transactions that have been going on, who do you think is going to have the biggest impact on their new team?
I think you're going to hate my answer.
Jimmy G.
No. Orlando
I said Jimmy
Brown
G.
Jr., left tackle.
Orlando Brown Jr.
For Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
Their left tackle last year gave up 12 sacks. Orlando Brown's not giving up 12 sacks.
Yeah, dude. That offensive line is going to be a lot better just because of him.
Yep. So I think he'll be the most impactful player for an organization last year because Joe Burrow took the most sacks of any quarterback last year. Again. So that's who I say.
I say Jimmy G. Like I said, dude, I think he can really turn that organization around. He has a lot of weapons around him, and I think he'd do good with that.
Yeah. No kidding. Like he's got every weapon now. He's got Josh Jacobs behind him. He's got Devontae Adams. He's got He just got Jacoby Myers over there. So I think he's got every piece to succeed. And he's also got his old coach, too, Josh McDaniels. So, yeah, I think he's got every weapon to succeed as a good quarterback over there. If I had to pick one, I think it's going to be
Darren Waller.
No, it's not Darren Waller. I think it's going to be Javonte Williams to the Saints.
You think so?
I really do.
Really?
Yeah, and it's only because of the way he is and like how he's going to bring so much to that. Like him combined with Derek Carr, they're going to bring so much positivity and like good attitude to that organization, and it's going to make them so good, I feel like.
Go Tigers.
Good vibes.
Good
Go
vibes. But yeah, I don't know. There's something that I feel like with those two players, because they're both they both have positive mindsets, and so yeah, it's that vibe that I feel like it's going to be a great vibe, and especially the Jamal Williams' first year there, I think he's going to really make an impact because Kamara's not going to be there.
True, he's going to have the backfield.
Yeah. So, are there any more transactions that we want to bring up?
None that I can think
before we move
of.
on?
Pretty much.
Alexander Madison got re-signed.
Nah. What does that do?
Is Dalvin Cook staying with the Vikings? Do y'all think?
Yeah, I think he is.
I don't know. They say they want to move on from him. And
He said they
apparently
wanna
there's a
move
lot
on
of
to
teams
him.
that are like lining up.
He's a
take-
Minnesota boy.
Minnesota boy.
He's a Minnesota boy.
Minnesota?
I think he'll stay there for a few more years until they cut him loose.
Yeah, I can see that.
Minnesota.
Is Alexander Madison older or younger than Dalvin Cook? He's
I
younger.
think he's younger.
Yeah, but not by much, I don't
think
think.
he's
Let's
younger.
look.
Okay.
Like a few days.
Dalvin Cook age is 27, and Madison is
25.
Alexander. Oh, he's 25. There you go. Yeah, so not by much.
That was just a guess, actually. I don't know.
Oh, well, dang it. Hold on. I backed out because I thought you had it.
No.
I'm looking it up. Hold on.
24.
24.
Is he really?
Please.
Yeah, 24.
Wow, good for him. When does
Hey,
he
can you
turn
guess
25?
what's the number one ranked free agency move this year?
Dude,
Jimmy G.
No.
Jimmy G.
Lamar Jackson.
Ooh, yeah. You know what? I
Him
forgot
getting
about him.
franchise tagged.
It's a good deal, yeah. That's probably the best move that any organization's made.
If anybody takes him,
Second
Yeah.
best is Caleb McGarty. Third is Daniel Jones. Fourth is Jason Kelsey. Fifth is Josh Jacobs. Sixth is Dalvin Tomlinson. Seventh is Derek Carr. 8 is Jesse Bates. 9 is Geno Smith. And 10 is Javin Hargrove. That's my last name.
Where's Saquon on the list?
he's
not even on the
franchise.
list.
He was designed.
I mean, that's 18.
Is Saquon getting signed?
Yes, he is.
It's going to be tough. They just got Darren Waller. They got the Walrus.
Got the Walrus, man.
Walrus.
But no, I think that's it though for all like the big names that happen, all the big moves that happen.
All right. Anything else to add, fellas?
Yes, we need to discuss more draft content soon. We need to discuss like the running back. We should discuss a running back soon. That's what we need to discuss.
Heck yeah.
The running backs for this year's draft.
Okay.
All
That's my
right.
tidbit.
All right. Sounds good.
I guess no one else has anything else to add.
All right.
Yeah, that's it.
We'll save that for next podcast. Maybe the listeners will have to wait, you know.
I didn't mean today.
Well, we asked what else, and you said you wanted the running backs.
Normally, anytime Derek asks if there's anything else to add, it's the end of a podcast when we're wrapping up. So I may have jumped the gun on that. I apologize. But it's because I know my host.
You're a week a little early.
All right. Well, you know what we're talking about next week.
Yep, that's right. Be ready.
Be ready, fellas.
Go Tigers. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
All right. Well, let's close it out. For Derek, Luis, and Colton, we appreciate everybody for listening to another episode of the Halftime Adjustments podcast. You can follow us on Twitter at halftime_ADJ. We are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Podcasts. So thank you guys so much for listening, and we will see you guys next week.
Later.